It is finally time for Legend ZA.
Legend ZA is here, baby. Anyone who knows me well knows that new Pokemon game season is what I live for. The second a new game comes out, I lock myself in my room and nobody sees me for like a month. Game Freak have been getting increasingly better at making the experience of completing a new Pokedex extremely satisfying. Scarlet and Violet in particular nailed making each new entry feel amazing. A new Pokemon game means a brand new Pokedex to complete, and aside from the new Megas, this is what I was most excited for with ZA's release.
This is huge. I'm actually so excited. I cannot wait. We're gonna pick this guy. He looks just like me. I'm Chuck. Good customization, baby. Whoa. Holy moly. I'm dead. I just died. Oh. Oh, pink. Oh. Oh, hey. Oh my god. Helioptile. What's up? Wait. Can I go back in the train? Man, I am so excited. Yo! Wait, that guy's cool. I'm excited to see how they deal with the game being just in Lumiose City. I'm a little nervous for it. Pokemon Legends ZA.
Before we get too far, I just want to say that I want to keep this video mostly spoiler free, since the game is still fresh. However, there are a couple of things that are impossible to not spoil. The obvious one is the Wild Zones and Lumiose City. Any places where Pokemon can appear will appear in this video. Mega Evolution is also a core part of this game, and while I'm going to avoid showing as many as I can, a few of them were too important to my experience to not show. Besides, what fun is a playthrough of the game without some exciting Mega reveals?
Wow. It's beautiful. Ah. Oh, that guy's huge. If they made the best possible starter trio in Legends Arceus, they definitely strive to make the worst one here. Look at these dorks. Yo. Ew. Yeah. Okay. Toadal looks like he's about to grab onto my ankles, man. Oh my. This guy. I'm killing him. Can Toadal stop looking at me like that? He is stressing me out. Okay, see, Toadal just lost immediately. Bro went the wrong way. He's right in front of you, you dipshit. Okay, so I'm not picking Toadal. That guy's stupid stuff. Why does that guy have an Ultra Ball in his hair? Yeah, I'm Andre. We faced off just last night. You grabbed me by the head and threw me towards a Staryu? Remember? Wait, so I came here without any Pokemon? That's crazy.
So what is our game plan? Well, normally I like taking new Pokemon games slow, but I'm so excited for this game that I kind of can't help myself from finishing the Pokedex as soon as possible. I thought it would be fun to specifically complete a living dex where I keep an individual of each species in my box. Typically the ideal team for completing the dex is a solid team of one strong Pokemon that also helps with capturing, like Delayed, having your other slots open for Pokemon you need to train to evolve. But I didn't want to not have a playthrough team, so I decided to instead build a dream team of 4, a collection of some of the strongest and coolest Pokemon I could bring together to help save Lumiose City and obtain every Pokemon. Which brings us to the starter selection.
Okay, I've always felt like Chikorita is super overhated. It's not Bro's fault he was made the grass starter of the least hospitable region for grass types. Put him in any other region and it's a fine starter. Seriously, have you ever tried using Victory Bell or Blossom or Jumpluff in Heart Gold or Soul Silver? They struggle just as much. Even though Cyndaquil is my favorite of the Johto trio, I've always been a Chikorita defender and I want to show people that she's not the worst starter. Chespin is. I guess since this game is very different, it probably isn't going to be the best test of whether or not Chikorita is a good Pokemon or not, but oh well, we're picking Chikorita. Yeah. Welcome to the team, Chamomile. Oh, you lost. Maybe he needs to put a hat on or something. Embarrass himself a little less. She's apparently 3,000 years old. Don't out her like that. That's crazy to say. This is my grandmother. She's apparently 92 years old. That old bitch. The song goes crazy. Oh, Dude, this OST. What on earth? Dude, he looks decrepit. This is my uncle, AZ. He's apparently 3,000 years old. Step on it! Kill it! Someone kill that! Please! What? Dude, I'm so bad at this. There's always a gap. Kill that thing! Kill it! Step on that thing! Step on the thing! Kill it, man! Someone get rid of it! I hate bugs in my house. Dude, the cutscenes look good in this game. What the hell? How'd they do that? So now we're meeting Leader. I'm a dancer and I came to Lumiose City, chasing my dreams of going pro, plus my big brother. No! Don't tell me Tierno's in this game. I hate that guy. He's so cute. You're something special, you are. Beep, 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 beep. I got the Pokedex. Chamomile, you are adorable. Number 1, Chikorita. So there are backstrikes. That's good. Captured our first Pokemon. Yeah, so suck shit. Is it guaranteed capture when they're like that? It's not, is it? You know how Pokemon games are. Got Spooper. Oh, that registered. Ooh. That is something. A Weedle? Worm? A worm? A worm? Oh, Pichu, let me in, let me in. I want that guy. Yeah, I'm kind of an intrepid explorer. Oh, I don't even need Rock Smash. Wait, I'm cool. No, he turned around, this guy. That is heartbreaking. And it worked. Woo. I should just move on. Let's just move on. The whole city looks different. Even the professor resigned. Sycamore. Lantern. Is Lantern in the game? Is it Mabel? Wow, it's Mabel. That's cool that you're a character in this game. Because you weren't one in X and Y, let's be honest. Okay, Mabel's research. Yeah, we can claim Rock Smash. Are these just moves? Let's look through all of these. XP Candy L. Master. Oh. Right. Okay. So the Shiny Charm isn't a reward for completing the Pokedex. It's a reward for completing Mabel's research. Okay, that actually changes my plan a little bit. I had sort of assumed that the Shiny Charm would be the reward for completing the Pokedex, like it is in every other mainline game. However, I figured that completing Mabel's research to get the charm surely couldn't add more time to this playthrough, so it became my other main goal alongside the Pokedex. In the first wild area, I spent a lot of time catching everything I could, multiple times to complete as many research tasks as I could, and also to evolve Weedle into Kakuna and a couple Scatterbug. With that done, we head back to the hotel and began the first ZA Royale. Got into a fun stalemate with a Weedle and my Kakuna. This is gonna be the world's worst Pokemon battle. Oh man. This is so funny. Hey Gene, hey Gene, hey Gene, hey Gene, hey Gene, hey Gene, hey Gene. Ooh, that's cool. And then we fought perennial loser Zach. I won't make it easy for you, because this taxi driver has a taxi dream. I'm gonna reach rank A and abolish all forms of transit in Lumiose except taxis. Jesus. To rank up to rank Y. We also reached level 9 in Mabel's research. We then got to explore the Wild Zone 2, where I was able to catch all but one Pokemon in there, evolve a Kakuna into a Beedrill, and then leaving the area at research level 12. We then went to Wild Zone 3, got to evolve Spooper into Vivillon, and left Wild Zone 3 catching everything in there, and evolving Chamomile. Hooray! Leaving us with 24 entries of our Pokedex completed. We did some story going to the Lookaburo, went to Wild Zone 5, evolved Mareep, and caught a bunch of other stuff like Abra and Electrike, as well as evolving our Fletchling into Fletchinder, and we left Wild Zone 5 with our Pokedex at 31. While exploring the streets, I got Cleffa, Trubbish, Spritzy, and Riolu. No! Oh, I failed a Riolu. Or, never mind. In Wild Area 4, we caught a bunch of new stuff. Spinarak, yoink. Spinarak, yoink. Gusty, yoink. Spinarak, yoink. Ekans, yoink. Dude, Ekans is totally gonna have a mega. And left with 37 registered in our Pokedex. I traded a Pikachu for a Heracross as part of a required side quest, and then caught a Sableye for another side quest. I then traveled all the way to Wild Area 6, where I evolved Abra and caught Houndour, Swinub, and Meditite. We left Wild Zone 6 with our Pokedex at 44 and our Mabel's Research at level 18. While doing some side quests, I caught a Pansage, whom I immediately evolved, a Swirlix, and a Pampor, and then we found the first Alpha, who was part of another little side quest, meaning we're able to find them around the city. I then went onto the rooftops to look for an Emolga, which I found, and then not too far in the distance, something pretty special. I see someone. I think I have access to them right now. Huge moment. Huge moment. Big moment in my life. This is a big life moment for me. Ever since the announcement of its Mega, I've been really wanting to use Hawlucha again. It's a Pokemon that's incredible in X and Y, and I think it's time to introduce you to Raven. Then once night fell, I decided to check if the missing Pokemon in Wild Area 2 was something that spawns at night, like maybe Carvana or Houndour. What I found, however, is something else that I was really hoping to see soon. Don't tell me that's a... Oh my god, there's an Alpha one. Wait, that's actually perfect. I have to catch the Alpha. Damn. Get a drink, please. Please capture. No! After all that... Unfortunately, we couldn't capture it this time, but an Alpha Staryu was so perfect that I was willing to wait for it. Luckily, I was also able to catch a few normal Staryu to complete the Wild Zone, getting us to 51 entries completed. We ranked up to rank X before the night was over, and then on a rooftop, I found a Dragonair, redeeming me from a few failed Dratini in that area. Whoa, I got it. I got a Chespin from a request. Not just Chespin. He's always trying to get hit by my car. Yeah, I'll beat the freak out of this freaking guy. I'll kill him. Yeah, he's dead. Yeah, this guy's dead. Hey, buddy, you... Hey, buddy. Yep, you're dead. I just have to hit him 1 million times? This is so embarrassing. I told you he's the worst starter. This guy's a freak. Yeah, we should be friends. Ah, I get him. Cool. And then on the second attempt, after a tough fight, the Alpha Staryu came home and became our third member of the team. I wanted to call a Staryu in this game Dipper after the Big Dipper constellation, and the second I saw an Alpha Staryu, I was like, he's literally the Big Dipper. I have to catch him, I have to use him. So this is the third member of our 4 Pokemon Dream Team. After collecting enough tickets from the Royale to challenge the next rank up trainer, we redeemed ourselves on that Riolu from earlier, and immediately after got to evolve Bunnelby. I hit rank W, got a Froakie from a side mission, evolved our Magikarp into Gyarados, got a Scraggy while doing some other side missions, and then after some ZI Royale battles, I was able to evolve Spinarak. This got me to 59 Pokemon in my Pokedex and level 21 on Mabel's Research, which I think led me to get a call from Mabel, who gave me a choice between the 3 Kanto starters. I have no intention of using any of them, so I just took Bulbasaur since it's the earliest in the Pokedex. I reached rank V and immediately got put into a cutscene, which led to our first Rogue Mega Evolution battle with Absol, getting us the Absolite and also the Absol we helped calm down. We unlocked a bunch of new wild areas, so I started with Wild Zone 7, where I caught a bunch of new stuff like Vanillite, Hippopotas, and Shuppet, and also evolved Floette and Roselia with a couple shiny stones. I couldn't find an Ordino, so I went to Wild Zone 4 at night to catch Honedge, finishing that zone, and evolving Patrat into Watchog. And not much later... Wait... Big moment. Chamomile... Ah, he looks so good. I spent some more time looking for Ordino, but still had no luck, so I took on Wild Zone 8 next. First, let's talk about our team quickly. I had chosen the other 3 members of my team partially because they were Pokemon I was confident could receive new Mega Evolutions. Hawlucha obviously had its Mega revealed early, Meganium was a starter, so I thought it was a safe bet it could get one, and Staryu was featured prominently in the trailers as Leader's partner Pokemon. The last Pokemon I was planning on using wasn't one I picked because I thought it could get a Mega.
In fact, I thought it was unlikely to. But instead, one I chose because of my history with it. Excadrill in Black and White was this powerful opposing force. Clay's Excadrill in particular was such a menace. I used it so many times throughout Gen 5 and always had a blast. However, Drillbur and Excadrill, in my opinion, did not survive the transition to 3D. What once felt like a dangerous, ravenous creature turned into a silly little mole rat running around with these weapons he found. I think it's because the 3D models actually depict its real size a bit better, but Excadrill definitely turned from a cool guy into a goofball to me, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing. I hadn't used Excadrill since Gen 5, and this team was sorely lacking silly guy energy, so I really wanted to add it to the dream team. Welcome in, Ron. I had such a blast in this wild zone. Alongside Ron, I was quickly able to catch Numel, Machop, and Sandile and Krokorok. It took me a while to find the last Pokemon, but it was fine because I was having so much fun in the chaos of this zone. Getting chased by millions of Drillbur, Giga draining them all back to full health, and then spamming catches over and over was so addicting. Eventually, I did find and capture Gible, meaning we were done with this zone. I checked Wild Zone 7 again, determined to find Audino, or else. And else never came, as Audino finally did. Wild Zone 9 was next, where I only needed Mawile and Carbink. While trying to figure out how to even enter Zone 10, we caught a Dedenne and Dratini. In Wild Zone 10, I immediately caught some Slowpoke and Carvana, and later an Arbok and some Tynamo. Now, it was at this stage of the game where the story finally progressed further than the content shown in the trailers or other pre-release footage. This means two things. I'll stop showing story progress outside of my rank, but it also means that we're finally going to be seeing some relevant megas. I'm only going to be showing a few, but this is your final spoiler warning for those. Because finally, we gain access to our first mega. Wait, that's huge. I'm going to beat up Bob Hig. Oh my goodness. Gamamayo.
He's so cute.
Oh, he's a fairy. He's so cute, man. I also found the Stone Emporium. It has some Mega Stones that I don't care about, but more importantly, it has evolutionary stones, which means it's time for the Big Dipper to reach its next form. Yay. Unfortunately, Ron still wasn't there yet. Ron, you dumbass. Ronald. Please, Ron, dude. Ron kinda sucks. Thank God. After evolving a Skiddo, we reached 91 total Pokemon in the Dex and level 28 Mabel's research. I evolved a Litleo into a Pyroar and Pikachu into Raichu and battled this guy who had something interesting. We might see a new Mega. Or like Garchomp. Oh, Excadrill. Wait, Excadrill. There's no way! There's no way! Oh my god! Wait! 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 Holy shit! He's so stupid looking too! Wait, that's... Wait! Run! Run, you're gonna look even stupider! In a good way! Don't die. Oh my god, okay. Ron immediately dies, that's kind of a friend. See, this is why I like Mega Evolutions, because they make me feel good. Oh my god, Mega Excadrill is ridiculous. Excadrill's already strong. I mean, I guess it's fallen off a little bit, but that's the fact that it gets a Mega here. It's going to be insane, right? I chose to use Excadrill to solidify my opinion on it, and this goofy ass Mega does just that. It's going to look like such a dork. I'm so excited. God, I love Mega Ronald. The next wild zone we entered was Zone 11. We caught Furfrou, Clauncher, Stunfisk, Inkay, and the Alpha Clawitzer and Slowbro. Wild Zone 12 started off strong with both a male and female Snorunt, a Snova, a Bombersnow, Bergmite, and 2 Machoke, but Delibird did not want to get caught. It took me 10 minutes just trying to capture one. I evolved my Flaffy from the first area into an Ampharos finally, before heading to Wild Zone 13. I caught Weeping Bell and Pinsir, evolved a Trubbish and one of the Weeping Bell, and then at night I caught a Phantump and Scyther, leaving our dex at 112. We then finally gained access to something I was very excited for. I adore all 3 of our Mega Evolved team members. All of them amplify the trait that most defines them. Some of the Megas in this game get hate for being weird or lame, but I think almost all of them do a good job appealing to the original Pokemon strengths. I mean, Mega Ronald is objectively uncool, but I think that works for him. With these 3 Megas under our belt, story progress felt a lot easier, so I decided that I was ready to start speeding through the game. I found a little area with some Rolts, and on the rooftops, our first Eevee. I evolved Numel, and then that Alpha Rolts all the way to Gallade, and the female Snorunt into Frostlass. Later, I evolved Venipede into Scolipede, and Binkle into Barbaracle. I caught Noibat, Klefki, Skrelp, and a couple Litwick in the sewers, and was able to evolve a Ghastly. In Wild Zone 14, I caught 3 Aron, a couple Helioptile, 2 Onix, and a Lairon. In Wild Zone 15, I caught a Pumpkaboo, the Alpha Gorgeist with a Quick Ball, which is definitely the meta for catching Alphas, an Eevee outside the perimeter, and 2 Larvitar on the roof. I evolved Honedge all the way to Aegislash, getting our Pokedex up to 134 and Mabel's research to level 35. I ended my first day of playing doing some chill grinding as it was late at night and I'd been playing for 17 hours. I organized my boxes and living decks, evolved a Hippo, Skrelp, and a Pidgeotto, and caught a Pansear. And my first day of playing ended with my Pokedex at 138. Not bad.
It is day 2 of Pokemon Legends ZA, which is really exciting. Now, I still have a lot to do, and I don't have as much time to play today as I did yesterday, although it's 17 hours is pretty degenerate. The main thing I want to do today is at least finish the main story. I decided to leave exploring new wild zones until after the game was complete and I had access to all of them. So it was time to climb some ranks and evolve some Pokemon. In this time, I caught a Gengar and evolved, get ready, Pancham into Pangoro, Meditite into Medicham, Houndour into Houndoom, Pansear into Simisear, Panpour into Simipour, Electrike into Manectric, Swablu into Altaria, Vanillite into Vanillish, Shuppet into Banette, Krokorok into Krookodile, and Carvana into Sharpedo. And then something important happened. Oh, it's happening. Wait. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Please be cool. Please be cool. Oh my god. Why? What? That's what... Oh wow, it's so cool. Okay, wow, I get to use Mega Starmie. Let's do it. Let's look at these stats. No. Why is its attack so high? Okay, it's because I'm EV'd an attack. Great. Oh my god, why is it a physical attacker? Why would they do this? Guys, I have a confession. I like this Mega. Unlike the other 3, which amplify characteristic, Mega Starmie turns into something completely new. And I mean that unironically.
Yes, the model is just stretched out and looks like cunty Patrick Star. I agree. I'm not saying it changes in that way, and I promise my immediate reaction was one of confusion and sadness, as you saw. But have you seen bro move? It's trying to be human. It's like some eldritch being. Look how huge it becomes. I think it's meant to be weird and unsettling. Let me read its Pokedex entry. Its movements become more human-like. Whether it's simply trying to communicate or wants to supplant humanity is unclear. Its design is absolutely not a big shift, I'm not saying that, but it gains a whole lot more personality compared to most of the other new Mega Evolutions, despite it just getting long legs. I'm not going to argue that you should like the design, and maybe it was a bad choice to give such an experimental design to a beloved Gen 1 Pokemon, but personally, I think the idea is cool and it completely transforms the context of Starmie, turning something cool and clean into something absurd and hilarious. It was annoying that it becomes a physical attacker though. I built this team to have equal physical and special attackers, and this definitely threw off the balance a bit, but I didn't mind. Anyways, now that we had all 4 of our team's Mega Evolutions unlocked, there was nothing left between me and the end of the game. Along the way, I evolved Tynamo into Electric, caught a Noivern and a Beldum who took forever to catch, and we evolved an Electric into Electros. A few hours later, and the conclusion to maybe my favorite story ever in Pokemon, seriously, I think they nailed it, I reached the credits.
I shouldn't have taken a capture. I just ruined the whole...
With a playtime of 23 hours and 24 minutes, 154 Pokemon in our Pokedex, and level 36 of Mabel's research, we had beaten the game. But there was still a lot more to do. With the main story complete, all 20 Wild Zones are accessible, so I started with the ones I hadn't done yet. Wild Zone 16 was first, where I caught Phalanx and a couple more Froakie. Wild Zone 17 is neat, with a Pride of Pyro who instantly tried to, and will probably succeed at, killing you. All I needed here was a couple Lampent, a Skarmory I luckily got right before being killed.
Well, that works.
And a couple Chespin. Wild Zone 18 was next. I caught an Alpha Lopunny, so I didn't need to deal with making a Baneri like me, the Alpha Salamence, and 2 Bagon, and then waited on the rooftops for 3 Fennekin. Wild Zone 19 was one I was looking forward to since I'd gotten it unlocked because it contains Eevee, meaning I don't need to keep checking rooftops for it. I got a Drampa and Kangaskhan and started catching Eevees. My strategy for this just revolved around killing everything and specifically checking the hedges. And once night fell, I was able to interrupt a beautiful moment to capture the Clefairy I needed. Then it was time for the big one. Wild Zone 20 is the classic post-game area. The outer of the map is filled with some pretty rare Pokemon, most notably the Kanto and ZA starters, giving you a way to catch the ones you didn't pick in the main story. The cool part, however, is the center, which spawns 2 guaranteed alphas and pulls from a huge pool of Pokemon. You can get some super rare Pokemon here, but most notably for me, most of the trade evolution Pokemon are available, and I need them. At first, this seemed like an insane grind, and I was pretty worried when I first got to this area as I didn't yet know exactly how spawns worked, and thought I'd have to catch the currently spawned alphas and wait for 5 minutes to reroll them. However, as is well known now, if you fast travel to the zone, all the currently spawned Pokemon will completely reroll, meaning you can fast travel over and over until the alphas are something that you're looking for. From Wild Zone 20, we caught Tepig, Lucario, Malamar, Chikorita, 2 Charmander, Totodile, I'm a Champ, Aggron, Gardevoir, another Totodile, our 3rd Charmander, a Garchomp, our 3rd Totodile, another Chikorita, 2 Bulbasaur, a Leafeon, our last Chikorita, a Scrafty, our 1st Squirtle, which meant we officially completed the zone, 2 more Tepig, a Goodra, an Alpha Squirtle, which was kind of cool, and then an Alpha...
Oh my god, it is! What? My first shiny in the game is a shiny alpha, so yeah, wow. Crazy. How do I catch this? What are you swinging at, bro? Wait, I got the shards for that. He's basically my Pokemon. I guess we dive baller, right? Oh. What? I got stuck. Please capture. Oh my god! Wait, that's so cool. Okay,
If you were paying attention, you'll notice that I didn't find a single shiny on my initial playthrough, despite seeing easily thousands of Pokemon. I can't say that I've ever loved Simipour, but I think it's cool that it was my first shiny now that it was finally out of regional Dex jail. And it was an alpha too. My excitement for Simipour didn't stop me from the grind, however, as I went on to get the last Squirtle I needed, a Dragonite, and then I unfortunately failed to catch an Alakazam. Damn, we didn't get it. But I knew I could deal with that later, as it was time for an evolution spree. I did all the evolutions for the Chikorita line, Tepig line, Totodile line, Clefairy, all the evolutions except for the friendship ones, Vanillux, all the Kanto starters, Snorunt into Glalie, Lampent into Chandelure, Helioptile into Heliolisk, the Larvitar line, the Kalos starters, and Bagon into Shelgon, which was all my available evolutions. This meant it was time to seek out more Pokemon. I caught a Sylveon, Metagross, and eventually a Beldum, which I immediately turned into a Tang. And then I caught the Alpha Avalanche. Wait, what? What the hell? Is it really? What?
It is. I couldn't tell.
It's been like 50 minutes. 58 minutes. I actually don't even know what to say.
It actually jump scared me. That was terrifying.
Look, I'll admit, I was kinda bummed out about not finding a shiny for my playthrough, but these two shiny alphas came within an hour of each other. They came at 1 in 4,096 odds, since the shiny charm is the only way to boost odds in this game. I had to go back to get a normal Avalugg for the living dex, and then I got Gabite, Alakazam, which I successfully caught, Tyrunt, Amora, and Aerodactyl, the former two I evolved afterwards, the Alpha Trevenant to avoid needing to trade a Phantump later, and then in the rain I caught a Goomy, whom I evolved into Sliggoo, and then a second Goomy. This left me with just 10 entries to do, and ended my progress for the second day. The last 10 entries are all somewhat tricky in their own ways. Firstly, I had to do my first friendship evolutions, the 2 evolutions. I didn't know the best way to increase friendship since the game was new, so I planned on using all the vitamins and friendship increasing berries I'd found along my playthrough. However, there is a better way of doing this. If you sit on a bench and instead of passing the time, bring your whole team out, your entire party will gain 10 friendship. And you can do this over and over with no penalty. Thanks to Anubis for discovering this. Unfortunately for me, my power actually went out while I was recording these evolutions, so I don't have the footage for them. The next 5 entries were all left this late for one reason. They all required me to trade. Now, you can catch a Steelix in a post-game mission, but I hadn't done that mission yet and didn't realize that was an option. As far as I know though, Scizor, Slowking, Aromatisse, and Slurpuff are all unobtainable without trading. They don't appear in Zone 20 and I can't find them elsewhere. Thankfully, my girlfriend had bought ZA2, so I was able to just trade over the 5 Pokemon I needed to her. It's worth noting that there is a Mabel request for evolving Pokemon via trade that I needed to complete, and you only get credit for this if you receive the Pokemon as they evolve. So, I gave all the first stage Pokemon the wrong evolutionary items, traded them to my other Switch, gave them the right items on that game, and then traded them back, successfully acquiring Slowking, Slurpuff, Aromatisse, Scizor, and Steelix, and completing the trading request. The final 3 Pokemon are the 3 main Kalos legendaries. Each of their battles are pretty cool, Zygarde's especially, so I won't show them, but by completing all the post-game requests, you will obtain them all. Once Zygarde was acquired, we had successfully completed an entire living Pokedex in Pokemon Legends ZA. It only took 2.5 days, but we were done. Wait, why is there still runtime? At the start of the game, I predicted that maybe finishing the Pokedex would also lead to you finishing all the requests along the way, but unfortunately that is not the case. The biggest grind in this game isn't completing the Pokedex, it's actually completing 1,000 total battles. While the battles are pretty quick in this game, 1,000 is a lot. I found out during my playthrough that this was something I was going to have to complete, so I made sure to put in a bit of extra time into the ZA Royale, but still, I wasn't really even close to finishing 1,000 total battles. This isn't even the only difficult task. By the time I completed the Pokedex, I was level 47 of Mabel's research, and while most of my remaining tasks were simple capturing ones, which I finished up over the next hour, the other big one was completing the Mega Evolution Pokedex. This is a second page of the dex displaying specifically which Mega Stones you have acquired. It doesn't matter if you have actually seen the Mega or not. Since I'd completed the main story, I already had a good chunk of them, but the rest of them were going to be a little grindy to get. One of these is at the end of a post-game quest, requiring you to beat the ZA Royale 15 times, which I was going to be doing anyway. The rest of them can be bought in 2 spots. The first is at the Quasartico Inc. building, bought using Mega Shards. These stones will either cost 180, 240 or 360 shards, and to buy them all, you need 7,680 shards in total. With all the canary charms that boost the rate at which you obtain these shards, it isn't the worst grind in the world, but it is still absolutely time consuming, and is exacerbated by the fact that you can only hold 999 shards at once, so you can't just lock in and grind them all in one go. The rest can be bought at the Stone Emporium. I was pretty nervous for this one as the stones aren't cheap, however buying them all only costs 990,000 Pokedollars in total, which is definitely a lot. However, I was going to be making much more than that by completing the 1000 battles, so I wasn't stressing too much about that. My plan was to spend the daytime running around the city collecting Mega Shards, and spend the nights cramming as many battles into the ZA Royale as possible, buying whatever stones I could with the Mega Shards I got during the day, and then rinse and repeating. By the end of the 18th, my 3rd day of playing, I had bought all the stones from the Emporium and was only missing 4 from Quasartico, and the one locked behind the story quest, and was sitting at 493 battles won. Not even halfway. There is probably a better method of getting these battles done. Restaurant Lena offers an option to battle 3 trainers at the price of 3,000 Pokedollars, and these battles go by pretty quickly, definitely a bit faster than the ZA Royale. This is probably what I would recommend doing. I didn't know about this and had actually checked out a different restaurant on my own, seeing if it would be faster battling there. However, once I found out that they charged 100k to do 10 battles, I gave up on the idea and committed to the ZA Royale. On my 4th day of playing, which was the 19th of October, I started my day by purchasing the last 4 Mega Stones I needed, and then getting that final stone from the quest I mentioned earlier.
And that is the second last Mabel's research completed.
I also went online to get the Greninjite, which was way easier to get than I expected. However, you do not need this stone to get the shiny charm. I just figured it was a good time to get it. With this, I had completed the second last request and only had the battles left to do. And so, the final grind began. I was getting faster and faster, and completing more and more battles each night. I was starting to be able to get 40 or even 50 wins in a night, which felt super good. And there are even people managing to get 70 wins in one night, which proves that the ZA Royale isn't the worst way to get the charm. Eventually, I hit 900 wins, then 953, until finally...
Okay, we're at 46 wins here. As tempted as I am to try and beat 52, we're at 999, meaning we only have 1 battle left. We have won 15, that's wrong, 1,000 battles. We can now check Mabel's research and get the shiny charm. There we go.
On my 4th day of playing and 46 hours and 51 minutes, I caught every Pokemon in Legend ZA and got the shiny charm. I am having a blast with this game and I'm already working on more videos for it as we speak, so I hope you're all as excited as I am about this game. Thanks for watching.